work.
Nice.
You collapsed in the street on your way out, so just kind of had TJ drag you in here.
Oh, well, thank you. I don't know what happened. Normally that doesn't happen. Normally I don't take that long to wake up either.
Yeah, it's been a weird day for a couple people. I meant to catch you before you went out, though.
Oh, okay.
Did you have to use any of your own money to cover the medicine?
Nope, I didn't. There's already a couple $50 up there. The only thing I used was a couple stimulants that I brought, but that doesn't matter. We have plenty of those.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, do you have time for a bit of a chit chat, or do you need to be on your way?
I've got plenty of time.
Okay. I was talking with TJ while we were waiting for you to wake up, and he gave me some advice. After I spilled some beans to him, I guess.
Oh, that was not right. That's what I meant.
So, hi. Hello.
Sorry.
Don't worry about it. Right, well, it's not that private chat, so...
Oh, sorry, we'll go.
When... Oh, no, don't worry about it. Do you remember, a long time ago, when you got shot in the back with a shotgun? Does that ring any bells for you?
Admittedly, it's been a couple of times that that's happened.
Oh my god, that's not good news. Then I guess we have a lot to get. Hello, Vanja.
Oh, hello. Sorry, I got excited when I heard someone got shot. That sounds really exciting. I'm sure. I'm
having a gun. Oh, okay.
Can I listen? I like hearing stories about blood.
You can listen if you
See, if I die because of her
You're not gonna die.
She's gonna kill me.
Right.
Straight up.
I've spent too much time trying to keep your ass alive.
There was a particular instance. I don't know if you're still doing work as a
while you're wearing a dress.
Why did you try to throw me in a hot tub?
Why should you not?
Oh my god.
How about we go up the hill and have this conversation?
You deserved it.
Alright.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna go drop off
You
these
can
medicines,
still...
but...
Okay. Sorry, Vanja.
It's okay.
Yeah, Tom does a good job.
Oh my god, there's people talking all over the place.
This is what happens when you have a busy, bustling town.
Yeah, so it's a blessing and a curse. Right. So, I don't know if you're still doing any sort of detective type work, but remember, you were looking into a bit of things that Arthur and Morocco were getting into back when I was a kid.
Yeah, that was a thing.
And this was, I don't know, probably a couple days after I had been shot or lit up like a Christmas tree, as I remember you describing it.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah. And I remember because you had been being my doctor for that, for most of the things relating to me getting blasted. And then one day I was down at the house when I lived with Ambrose. And Ambrose wasn't there, but Arthur and Morocco were. And they wanted to talk with you. And I was a dumb little shit of a kid, and I didn't really realize what kind of talking would be happening. So I let you all into Ambrose's house to have the chit-chat.
She's telling us the story.
And went up on the ledge where that used to go into Ruby's room. And then I sat there and listened to the whole chit chat. Couldn't see very much because I was still pretty much blind as fuck. But I knew it was you and Arthur and Morocco, and I know that the tones weren't that
telling us the
pleasant.
story. Stefano finally finds out.
And I know that Arthur was trying very hard to make it seem like you fired the first shot. But I'm gonna be honest, I know Arthur right now. Knew Arthur, and I knew Morocco, and I knew you. And I didn't believe it then, and I don't believe it now. So this is more or less me getting it off my chest that I knew that they were trying to murder you and get rid of you, and I had sat and heard the whole thing. I can't say that I saw it necessarily, but I knew what happened. And I wanted to be able to tell you for a very long time. But back then, all I could do was give you your wedding ring back. Because if I did anything more than that, I was pretty sure I was going to meet a similar fate.
Oh, wow. Well, admittedly, thank you for telling me that, because I couldn't remember what happened. The last thing I remembered was talking to you and Ophelia.
Yeah. Well, that's the story. And, you know, I guess there's not really much to be done about it now, considering, but
Yeah, well,
I thought at least you have the right to not think that Lady Goof lost her goddamn mind or some shit like that.
well, I'd always been curious as to what really happened that night.
That's it. That's,
I still do very much appreciate you bringing me my ring back.
yeah.
Wow, what the fuck?
Well, I'm glad it was appreciated, because at the time I wasn't even sure if it was the right thing. But, yeah, that happened. I saw a lot of shit back when I was a kid, and a lot of it still kind of bugs me to know that, I could have done something, and I didn't. And I mean, maybe I couldn't have really. I'll
Yeah, I
never
don't know how much you
but
could have
there
really done. But
And there were a lot of assholes with bad intentions who were just straight up dicks who got what was coming to them, and I still don't feel bad about those people. But there were also good people with good intentions who got caught up in the bad situations, and that I don't agree with, and I wish I could have done more.
the last thing I remember, all I wanted to do when I had the intention to talk with them was I just wanted to know their side. I wasn't going there to arrest them or shoot them, or I wanted to hear them talk, because it seemed like everybody was just kind of creeping on them like idiots and doing stupid shit. So I figured I might as well go over there and try and talk to them like civil human beings. Clearly that seemed to have backfired.
I mean, in that whole mess of people back in the day, because we were kind of a tight-knit bunch on the river, and that was kind of my first family. There was, like, Ambrose you could have talked to, and I remember back then, even then, he had lots of rumors and shit about him flying around, and a lot of don't talk to him because whatever reason. And I mean, if you talk to him, he wasn't.
I had a couple discussions with him a little bit.
He was a bit more reasonable. And for a while there, Arthur and Morocco were also pretty reasonable, but they got pushed very, very far by all of this shit that happened and the way that things were going and people were treating them. And by the end of it, they were pretty much barely the same people that they were when I first met them.
Sadly enough, that doesn't surprise me.
It happens a lot in the county. There's a lot of people who change for better or for worse, from what I've seen and what I've heard.
I've heard similar.
I don't know. It's hard when it feels like the entire county
Is
wants you
against
dead.
them. Yeah.
That was how I felt as a kid. I could hardly find anyone who I felt like would help me or give me a shot or anything. The only people who would give me a chance were the people who everyone else seemed to hate. So I did spend a lot of time with Arthur and Morocco and Ambrose and Cass and Vic and God, the list goes on, but I mean, who else do you have left when even your own dad will hardly acknowledge you? So, I mean, that was, maybe at the time you talked to them, they weren't really able to, have the proper their side of the story chat, but I don't really think it was about you so much as they were beyond the frame of mind they needed to be in to give you that conversation, and I'm sorry that you got hurt for it.
Yeah. Thank you. It's all I can really think to say.
Yeah. No. It's kind of a lot.
Yeah, just a bit, yeah.
Well, that was quite exciting.
Yeah, there's one word for it.
Yeah.
I can't say it was
Sorry.
quite exciting when it happened, but
Oh. Yeah.
Like a teeny bit of excitement, just of like, oh my gosh, I just got shot. Oh no, I just got shot kind of reaction.
I suppose if you look at it that way.
There's a lot of adrenaline in
Yeah,
those types
got
of
that right.
situations. And I'm more or less addicted, and that tends to get me in more trouble than it really ought to. But it feels really good to be out of control of a situation.
I mean,
In, like, kind of a twisted way.
everyone has their preferences and what they enjoy.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we got to chat.
I am as well.
If you... Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all I have for you. And, thank you for coming and fixing everyone. I went up to Keystone and made, personal reference notes off of the notes in the library, so hopefully I can do a bit more for my own town now.
Right. I might need to update those actually. Can you tell me what the last one you have known is? Like written down?
Let me see. I have the 3rd up to the 3rd page, so the first 3 pages, and then all the miscellaneous notes.
Alright. And what's the last cure on the 3rd page? Admittedly, it's been a while since I've written them.
It's coldness is cured by the Theriac.
Alright, yes. Yeah, so we found 3 more cures, which one of them was today. Since then. I can let you know those right now if you'd like, if you can write them down.
Yes, please. I would appreciate it.
So if somebody has like an extremely low carry capacity, then they would usually be able to. It is cured by the universal remedy. The cough, and only the cough, is cured by the curious remedy.
Alrighty.
And the fever is cured by the magical corrective.
Okay, okay, so a lot of people get confused in the sense of fever. Does that mean that they feel hot, or that
they feel hot? Yes. A lot of the time, if somebody says they have a fever, but they're not, they don't feel hot, it usually ends up making them a lot colder than usual, because the coldness one is something that builds up over time. The longer you go, the colder you get. And usually people with a higher fortuity take a lot longer to start to feel it. So those ones you usually have to wait a good little while before being able to properly diagnose them. I believe the fever is sometimes similar, where you won't realize it until you get real hot. Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Thank you. That is much appreciated.
Yeah. You take it easy, Senora.
Yeah. Stay safe. Don't get shot in the back again.
I'll do my best. Yeah. Wow. Wow. What? What? What in God's name? I was not ready for that. I was not ready for that today. I was not expecting to find out who the fuck tried to murder me today. Like, of course I knew, like, out of character, but that was before the NLR whole NLR thing, which even then it was 15 minutes of solid RP. And I probably wouldn't have remembered it anyway. But wow. This is fucking fitting music too. Wow. What the fuck? Wow. I don't have words for that. Like, what the actual fuck? Like,